nobis tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen.
И причастие Святаго Духа буди со всеми вами. Горе имеем сердца.
Sit nomen Domini benedictum, Gloria nostrum in nomine Domini, benedicta vos omnipotens Deus, Pater, et Filius, et Spiritus Sanctus.
Десница Твоя.
Paulus, de quorum potestate et auctoritate confinimus, ipsi intercedant pro nobis ad Dominum. Amen. Precibus et meritis Beate Mariae semper Virginis, Beati Michaelis Archangelis, Beati Annis Baptiste, et Sanctorum Apostolorum Petri et Pauli, et Omnium Sanctorum, Miseratur vestri omnipotens Deus, et dimissis omnibus peccatis vestris, perducat vos Iesus Christus, et vitam aeternam. Amen. Indulgentiam, absolutionem et remissionem omnium peccatorum vestrorum, spatium vere et fructuose penitentiae, cor semper penitens, et emendationem vitae, gratiam et consolationem Sancti Spiritus, et finalem perseverantiam in bonis operibus, tribuat vobis omnipotens et misericors Dominus. Et benedictio Dei omnipotentis, Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, descendat super vos et maneat semper.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Sunday. Today is Sunday. Well, it is not, to be clear, it is not officially Sunday yet, but this telecast was scheduled at I am sorry. Hold on, everyone. My English and Spanish. Hold on. Please accept my sincere apologies. This telecast was scheduled for Sunday morning at 12:30 a.m. But I have decided to go. I have decided to go on earlier. It is exactly in Puerto Rico, 11:14. It is 11:14 in the evening. In 1 hour, it will be Sunday officially. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. Okay, it is exactly. Hold on, everyone. It is exactly 11:14 in Puerto Rico, and on the East Coast, it is 10:14. So we are 1 hour ahead. We are 1 hour ahead. Okay, let me welcome Deborah Roberts. Deborah Roberts, God bless you. Let me welcome the great Mr. Smith. The great Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, as always, God bless you and your beautiful and the beautiful Mrs. Smith, Mother Smith, and the famous Smith dogs. And I give you a big hug always. God bless you always, Mr. Smith. One of the nicest gentlemen on YouTube. Let me welcome Hollywood. Hollywood 210. Hollywood, God bless you. And thank you for being in the chat family. Let me welcome Miss Carol Mahale and Mr. Mahale. Uh, Miss Carol, happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. This past Monday was Miss Carol's wedding anniversary. 38 years, 38 years of total happiness with Mr. Mahale. So God bless you. Many blessings, Miss Carol and Mr. Mahale. 38 years, 38 wonderful years. Miss Carol, may God bless your marriage and love for all eternity and all and love for all eternity. So a big hug for Miss Carol. Everyone, please, please congratulate Miss Carol. She is celebrating her 38 years of. She is celebrating her 38 years of marriage. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. I don't want to miss no one. I don't want to miss no one. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. Let me put something special for Miss Carol. This is for Mr. and Mrs. Carol Mahale. God bless you, Miss Carol. God bless you. Mr. Smith, Mr. Smith, go to the barn and get the anniversary cake. The cake is in the barn. Mr. Smith, the cake, Miss Carol's cake is in the barn. Bring it up, bring it up. It is a beautiful cake. 10 layers. 10 layers. God bless you, Mr. and Mrs. Carol Mahale, and a big hug, and a big hug for Mr. Smith. Wait, hold on. Mr. Smith says, the cattle ate the cake. The cattle ate the cake. Mr. Smith, that is a good one. That is a good one. Miss Carol, please accept our sincere apologies. Mr. Smith's cattle ate the cake. That is a good one, Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, do you have any information on what is happening with the drones? Where are these drones coming from? It seems that no one knows. No one knows. And the federal government, our federal government, it's not saying nothing. So, Mr. Smith, being that that topic is your specialty, can you please tell us what is going on with the drones? Let me tell you, the front page news on all the networks is the drones. Where are these drones coming from? Why are they in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania? What is happening? I would like to know. I would like to know where these drones are coming from. So, Mr. Smith, if you can enlighten us, and if you want, I'll send you the link, and you can explain to us, in your opinion, where are these drones coming from? That is the question. Hold on. Many of the drone photos and videos are helicopters and airplanes. But yes, there is a lot of drone activity now all over the East Coast. Okay, Mr. Smith, I'm going to send you the link. Hold on. Mr. Mr. Smith, instead of bringing the cake, bring the cow. Bring the cow with you. Hold on. Deborah says, cows like cake. They already have the milk. That is good, Deborah. That is good. Okay, hold on. Let me get the link. Let me go to my barn and get the link. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. Let me get the link for Mr. Smith. If anyone else in the chat would like to come up, you are welcome also. Everyone is welcome. Everyone. Let me welcome Cheech. Cheech, God bless you. Please forgive my voice. I still have the cold. Hold on, everyone. I'm getting the link for Mr. Smith, but everyone else is also invited. Hold on, everyone. Miss Carol, you are welcome to press the link also. Everyone. Okay, the link is in the chat. Mr. Smith, Carol, Cheech, Deborah, everyone in the chat. You are all welcome to press the link. That I have known you all for over 30 years. Okay, hold on, everyone. A little music. Hold on.
It's a human sign when things go wrong, when the scent of her language.
Okay, we have Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith. Hold on, Mr. Smith. Welcome,
Greetings.
Mr. Smith. A big hug.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Great. Mr. Smith, give my regards to your dear wife, mother, and also to your dear mother and the famous Smith dogs.
Oh, yeah, those guys. Yeah. Yes, sir. I will.
Okay, Mr. Smith, can you give us an explanation that the federal government refuses to give us? Go ahead.
On the drones, sure. So, and I'm no expert, so let's get that clear to everybody. I'm no expert, but I live in what's called the Triangle of Death on the East Coast, and that's because I'm surrounded by very sensitive military bases. 3 points. No drones here. And I understand that drones have been seen around military bases and just over general public, like the homes and things of the general public. So one of the things that I stress is that so to operate a drone, you have to have basically a permit or a license to the FAA, depending on where you operate recreationally or commercially, right? Up to 400 feet or above, and things like that. And one of the things we've seen is a big thing we've seen is that a lot of these drones, Edwin, have had their lights on. So they're navigation lights. So red, green, white. You know what I'm talking about? Like in all these videos we see, like the lights are on the drone. So if they're trying to be covert, meaning they're trying not to be seen, they wouldn't have their lights on, which is a good indication that they're not from a foreign enemy, a foreign entity. You understand what I'm saying? They're
Yes,
not.
yes.
Yeah, they're if they're not trying to be seen, if they're trying to gather intelligence and things like that, they're not going to have all these lights on where everybody can see them. One of the biggest points I made a video about it. I don't know if you saw it, anybody on here saw it, but Fox News, and I like Fox News, but unfortunately for them, they posted a news story within the last 48 hours that clearly showed a helicopter, that a photo that somebody took that said it was an SUV sized drone. It was clearly a helicopter. And I made a whole video about it. And they showed this, and Fox News unfortunately said, well, here's a photo that someone took of an SUV sized drone basically over their house. Well, it wasn't. It was a helicopter. And that's what's going on, and distance perception and things like that. So people are taking pictures of manned aircraft, helicopters and airplanes that are like thousands of feet above their house, And it looks like, because depending upon visual perception, an airplane 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 feet above your house looks like a slow moving drone at a certain height. And it's not. It's an airplane. And the
Uh,
problem is, Edwin, is we have a lot of hobbyists, drone hobbyists, or people that are like, well, I'm going to solve this problem. And they're launching their drones up. Now all of a sudden you have all these people flying drones around trying to find these other suspicious drones. And it's creating a panic. So now you have like one person filming like 10 drones flying around like whatever area, their neighborhood or whatever area. But that's because all these private drone operators are flying these drones, and now it feeds into this conspiracy theory, is my opinion. Just my opinion. And they're all seen and photographed and things like that. And there's going to be people that disagree with me, and that's fine. But I'm just saying, I don't believe it's not. It's not the U.S. government doing it, and I do believe the U.S. government can certainly go and find out and interdict, meaning intercept, these drones that are going around. But if they were an actual threat to the safety and security of the United States and its people, that they would take action, but they haven't. And I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk because this is your show, but I have another point to make.
Go ahead, Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith, this is our channel, not my, and this is not a show. It is a telecast. Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
So the other point I want to make, because a lot of the drones were reported being flown around military bases, correct?
Right.
In the United States. But a lot of people don't know about the old Red Cell, the Operation Red Cell, which is when the United States military tested itself against its own security capabilities. So it sent in, it actually, that would involve Navy SEALs because drone technology didn't exist back then. But they inserted SEALs to infiltrate military bases and Department of Defense, Department of Energy bases like nuclear places and things like that. And Marchenko did that. He was a SEAL. They did that stuff and successfully, and then the military was embarrassed. So maybe because we're already involved in World War III, regardless of what anyone thinks, we're already involved in World War III. But some of these drones that are around military bases could be our own military testing the security of our own military bases. And unfortunately, a lot of civilians that live around military bases see these things and they record them, and then then the whole concept, the whole mental concept comes about like, oh my God, they're like, we're being spied on, or this is the enemy, or there's some Iranian mothership, which doesn't exist, and all kinds of things going on. So it perpetrates this, it just fuels the media. How's that? It fuels the media, gets some clicks, views, and likes.
I see. Mr. Smith, a very important question. Uh, can someone with bad intentions, can they introduce a virus with the help of a drone in
Certainly.
the air?
Certainly. Absolutely.
I see. I see.
Absolutely.
Uh, Let me tell you, Mr. Smith, I've been watching the news very closely,
Mhm.
and the federal government should give an explanation. Even
Mhm.
the president should give an explanation, but
Mhm.
no one gives an official explanation.
Correct.
It
And
is
that
like it is like we have it is like it is like we have no leadership. You understand?
I do. You're right. And that's what leads me to believe that some of this is testing when they report on citizens and news media report on drones flying around military bases. That leads me to believe that the military is actually doing it to themselves to test their security systems, their reactions, and things like that, because they've done it in the past. It's very well documented. They've done it in the past, but they're not going to tell people about it because that would be a that would really negate the security protocols and the security of their systems in place. So they have drones up testing and saying like, okay, well they could do this, that, and the other thing. But like you just said, Edwin finds her, you just said, could drones release some type of chemical agent, some type of toxin, some type of poison, that type of thing? Yeah, of course they could, but they wouldn't get past. They wouldn't get past. They wouldn't get into the United States to do that.
I see it. And also, Mr. Smith, a drone can be disguised also like a bomb, right?
Yes, yeah.
So,
Drones can be disguised as anything. However, it's very easy to pick them up on all the advanced systems that are in place now, even across the street from me. They can pick up a drone in a heartbeat. They can pick up an airplane, a helicopter. They can pick up a person walking through the woods in a heartbeat. So it's not going to be an easy infiltration into the United States or the territories to do that, to bring a drone, to drop the poison, to drop the toxins, to spread the deadly virus or what have you. That's not going to be an easy task. It's going to be very hard to do.
I see, I see. Let me tell you, Mr. Smith, with the drone, with the topic of the drone, it just opens at least it opens my imagination up, and it and what I am sorry. Once that news started with the drone news,
Mhm.
it has been on already for a few days. I start thinking about 9/11.
Mhm.
Can we have a uh, can we have like a big catastrophe
Yeah.
with them drones? It it like it like it makes us panic. The drone, being that the government does not say anything, so people start panicking, and
Mhm.
that is not good. And we are celebrating Christmas. You
Mhm.
understand, right?
Yes, sir. No, number
Yeah.
one,
Anyway,
yeah,
go ahead,
people
Mr.
should not
Smith. Go ahead.
people should not panic. They should simply be aware. They should simply
Oh,
be aware of what's going on around them. Right. Um, our biggest threat is right now, and this is no offense. I'm not saying anything about, against immigrants because my grandparents were first gen immigrants to the United States, but we have thousands of illegal immigrants, including documented terrorists that have entered the United States in the last 3 years, at least. And the CIA has said, especially Sarah Adams, who is a CIA intel analyst and a targeter, has said they're already here. So when you talk about 9/11, yeah, that could happen again, but people should not be paranoid or lose sleep or anything. Just be aware, be cognizant every day, pay attention to your surroundings, and report anything to whoever. I don't care if it's your local police or the feds or whoever. Report anything that doesn't seem right or is suspicious, because right now our country is already susceptible to a second, just like you said, Edwin, a second 9/11. And that's exactly where we're at right now. But don't be paranoid about it. Just be cognizant, everybody. Be cognizant around you. Know what's going on. Pay attention. You know what I mean?
right. So, Mr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
that way we can have like a little peace of mind. To be clear, We all know that you are not an expert, but
Correct.
you are very knowledgeable. Uh, your analysis is that these are really not drones, that they are planes, that they are planes from the military.
No, there are drones. There are drones, but a lot of the reports that are being submitted are actually helicopters and airplanes. With people saying,
Okay, okay.
"Yeah, there's drones above my house," and blah blah blah. If you look at a video I posted a couple of days ago, it's actually a clear picture of a helicopter, and it's actually an Airbus model. I forget which model, but it's actually a helicopter. Um, but and I was surprised Fox News posted that, but that's irrelevant. But
I
yeah,
see. But
there's drones. Yes, there are
but
drones.
to but to be clear, Mr. Smith, what they are doing is that they are testing these drones.
Well, no, they're in some cases, and I'm not saying this is what's going on, but the military, United States military, has a history of testing its own security systems. And before
Okay.
they used boots on the ground to do it, but now technology obviously has advanced since Operation Red Cell, where they tested boots on the ground to test Department of Energy and bases with like whatever branch of the military they tested security on bases. But now, why can't they use technology to do that? And I think that's part of it, but I think it's a very small part of it. But yes, there are lots of drones out there. But again, that goes back to me saying I think a lot of that is once the media hype started, now you have a bunch of private citizens that are launching their drones trying to look for other drones. And now you have a sky full of drones, you know what I'm saying? Because and then people are taking videos of a bunch of drones. Even the former governor of Maryland took video last night with a couple drones around his neighborhood. And look, we if our government, if the United States military, forget the government, our government's corrupt, but the United States military knew that there was a threat against the United States with these drones, everybody should know they would take action. They're not going to just
I see.
they're not going to let it
Mr.
continue, right?
Mr. Smith, are you familiar? Are you familiar with a famous recording of Orson Welles of
Yes,
1939,
yes,
War of the Worlds?
yes, sir.
Well, that recording is right here on YouTube.
Hmm.
But all this talk on the news
Hmm.
about the drones, it reminded me of that famous of that famous broadcast of Orson Welles.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard that broadcast?
Absolutely. I have heard it and I've seen the modernized movies of it. What people need to, because people are saying like, well, it's aliens, right? But it's not, because if there was aliens, it would be far greater technology than the little drones we're seeing flying around, whether they're big drones, little drones, things like that, right?
I see. I
So
see. Uh, Mr. Smith, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your explanation, but I
yes,
want you to stay on the panel.
I
Uh,
will, sir.
Hold on, Mr. Smith.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Mr. Smith, the purpose of this telecast, uh, I want to touch this topic. It is anti-Semitism. Why am I bringing it up? I am not going to mention any names or anything.
Mhm.
I am not going to mention no one because I never do that. That is not ethical. And I don't want to do that because if I do that, I will convert this channel into a gossip channel. And I
Mhm.
will never do that. But I have observed this. Mr. Smith and chat family.
Mhm.
I've been active. I've been active on YouTube for 3 years already.
Mhm.
But to be clear, I have been on YouTube since 2013, but active 3 years. I have observed, I have observed in many chats, I will not mention the chats or the content creator. There are many chats that are permitting anti-Semitic comments about the Jewish people.
Mhm.
And the purpose that I am doing this telecast, I want to create consciousness,
Mhm.
and I want all the content creators to know that they must be on alert, because if they permit anti-Semitic comments in their channels can get struck down.
Mhm.
And also, that is racism, and that is unacceptable. Mr. Smith, have
Yeah,
you ever observed any anti-Semitic remarks
absolutely. Yeah,
while you are participating in a chat?
yeah, absolutely. And I address it. I address it right away because it's actually history has proved it. The Jewish Holocaust during World War II from Nazi Germany, and which a lot of people still deny that, which is unbelievable. And also from my own bloodline, the Armenian Holocaust from the Turks. No,
Right.
if anyone's Turkish in here, sorry, but that's fact. But the Jewish people were submitted to a Holocaust during World War II from Nazi Germany, not Germans, Nazi Germany, and a lot of people still deny that. But look at what happened to them on October 7th of last year. So it was another attempt of a Holocaust, in my opinion, and that's what a lot of people are saying now. All these protesters, all these all these anti Israel, uh, mostly younger people because they're dumb, because they're stupid, don't have any life experience or history knowledge, and they're anti-Israel protesters. And I'm like, go read a history book, go to actually attend class and learn what that actually means, what you're protesting, and then maybe you'll get a better idea. But they don't, Edwin, sir, they don't care. They're just, I call them oxygen thieves, because they're taking up space and using up oxygen that our children, our grandchildren can actually use for the better of the world. It's just insane.
Mr. Smith, let me tell you, according to the information that I have,
Mhm.
in public schools, they are not teaching right now to the
Mhm.
young kids. They
Mhm.
are not teaching them about the Holocaust or anything. So these kids that are growing up now, they
Mhm.
don't even know, Mr. Smith. They
Mhm.
don't even know who George Washington is.
Right,
That is unbelievable.
right.
Uh, Check this out, Mr. Smith.
Mhm.
I was born in the Bronx, 1955.
Mhm.
When I was a little boy, growing up in the Bronx, uh, I would say the Jewish population in the Bronx was like 70%. I am talking about when I was a toddler in the 20s.
Mhm.
Not many people know this. The Bronx. Uh, 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 I am sorry. All the buildings,
Mhm.
all the old tenement buildings that were once beautiful buildings, Mr. Smith,
Mhm.
because a lot of people do not know the real history of the Bronx. They think that the Bronx was always like a ghetto, like a slum, and that
Mhm.
is incorrect. Uh, my parents, Mr. Smith,
Mhm.
my parents moved to the Bronx in the 1940s.
Mhm.
My mother, may she rest in peace, and my father also, may they rest in peace. My parents taught me, and my aunts, when they first arrived to the Bronx, Mr. Smith,
Yep.
the Bronx was a beautiful place. It was like, it was upper
Absolutely.
middle class.
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
majority of the buildings, the owners were Jewish. Uh, uh, these were people that I am sorry. These people were from Russia, Russian Jews.
Hmm.
Uh, they, my parents told me, hold on, Mr. Smith, can you take over the program? I will be
Sure.
back.
Sure. Carol, would you like to come up? Um, anyone that wants to come up. Let me see here. Let me drop the link here. Anyone that wants to come up. There we go. Um, but yeah, Carol, I also don't fully trust the U.S. government either because I just my personal experience. I don't trust them here. No, Carol, I don't need Carol. No, you like to talk about this stuff just like I do. So if you want to come up, that would be awesome.
Mr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
I am back. Mr. Smith, please accept my sincere apologies.
No
My
apologies.
wife, Mother Jimenez,
Hmm.
when she needs something, she always calls me. So please accept my sincere apologies.
You don't have to apologize for that. Come on.
Uh, Mr. Smith,
Yes.
what I was explaining to you,
Mhm.
my parents, when they first arrived to the Bronx, the Mr. Smith, the Bronx was like Park Avenue, like Park Avenue. It was a beautiful place.
Mhm.
Check this out, Mr. Smith.
Mhm.
The majority of the buildings were owned by Jewish people. Check
Mhm.
this out. The majority of the buildings, they had marble floors, interior and exterior gardens with
Mhm.
water fountains. All the
Yeah.
buildings were private, and all the majority of the population in the Bronx when my parents moved were Jewish,
Mhm.
Irish, and Italian,
Mhm.
and everyone, uh, uh, it was uh,
Mhm.
it was like a uh, it was like a different type of world. My parents told me that all the buildings were beautiful and clean, and people really took care of the buildings. But
Mhm.
getting back to the main topic, the the uh, the Jewish people, they were the majority. They were the majority in the Bronx. I am talking about the 20s, the 30s, up to the 40s. And then I had the honor, Mr. Smith, when I
Mhm.
was a kid, I met a lot of Jewish people, and most of the Jewish people that I met, they were survivors. They were survivors from concentration camps. And I remember when I was a kid, they showed me the numbers that they had in their arms, Mr. Smith.
Yes,
You
sir.
see? And also, I had the honor of having teachers, because back then, the majority of the teachers in the Board of Education in New York City, they
Mhm.
were of Jewish heritage.
Right.
So they taught us.
Yeah.
They taught us what their ancestors went through. So I am pro-Jewish. And also, Mr. Smith,
Yes,
when I
sir.
was a kid, there was a nice little Jewish lady that used to take care of me when my mother used to go to work, and she had numbers. Uh,
Mhm.
she had a serial numbers on her arm.
Mhm.
She was a concentration camp survivor, and they used to tell me these horrible stories. Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Well, I was just going to say, check backstage because Carol Mahale was trying to join
Okay,
the
hold on.
conversation.
Okay, no. Wait. Miss Carol, press the link again, please. Press the link again. Mr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
uh, I want to apologize to you because sometimes I get stuck. It is my English and Spanish. The only time,
Está
the
bien.
only time I speak in English is when I am on YouTube. So that is the difficulty that I have because my thought process is in Spanish to speak in English. So please forgive me, okay?
Senor, está bien. It's I know it's a different dialect and things like that, but senor, está bien. All right.
You see, the problem is, Mr. Smith,
Mhm.
when I first came to Puerto Rico,
Mhm.
my thought process was in English. But
Mhm.
now that I've been here for 47 years,
Mhm.
here in Puerto Rico, Mr. Smith, have you ever been to Puerto Rico?
I have not. No.
Okay, here in Puerto Rico, we are a U.S. territory, but we do not speak English.
Mhm.
Everything is in Spanish.
Yep.
Everything is in Spanish here, Mr. Smith. The
Yep.
only thing, the only thing that is in English is the federal courts. That is all. But
Mhm.
the state, everything that is state and local, it is in Spanish. Let me tell you, Mr. Smith.
Mhm.
Here in Puerto Rico, we have over 3 million U.S. citizens.
Mhm.
More than 70 or 80% do not know English, and they are U.S. citizens. That is unbelievable.
What's
That
wrong
way
with
you
that?
know.
What's wrong
Huh?
with that? I don't. What's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't, I have. I see
Okay,
no problem.
but it is my opinion. If we are U.S. citizens, we must know English because English is the language of our main government. You understand?
I do understand, but the United States took control of Puerto Rico to make it a territory. So why should they force Puerto Ricans to speak English when they speak native language of Spanish? Or I think it's ridiculous that it should be assumed that they should be required. People in Puerto Rico should be required to speak English when people in the United States speak English, right? So why can't people in the United States speak Spanish like I kind of do, sort of? But why can't it be a two-way street? Why can't it be people in the States speak Spanish, people in Puerto Rico speak English? It should be a two-way street, right?
Okay, Mr. Smith, you
Yep.
have brought up a great topic, Mr. Smith. But before we get into it, let us welcome, Mr. Smith, the beautiful Miss Carol. Miss
Very
Carol,
good.
welcome.
Hello, Edwin. Hello, 556.
Hey, Carol, how are you?
Getting over
Miss
being
Carol,
sick, but I'm hanging in there.
Miss Carol, before Mr. Smith and before I answer Mr. Smith's question, give us an update. Give us an update of your wedding anniversary honeymoon.
Uh. I never tell. I don't kiss and tell.
Uh, so, Miss Carol, tell us, wh- tell us, please tell us what is new, please.
I didn't hear you, Edwin. I'm sorry. What did you say?
No, uh, give us, just give us a little update. Uh, w- hold on, hold on. No, Miss Carol, just give us a little update. What did you do this week celebrating your anniversary, Miss
My
Carol?
husband took me out to dinner and was very generous. That's all I'll say.
Okay, that is good. That is good. Um, Miss Carol and Mr. Smith, let us welcome Teresa Murphy. Teresa, please press the link, Teresa. Let me invite Miss Teresa on the panel. Miss Teresa, you are welcome to press the link. Okay, Mr. Smith, let me answer your excellent question. It is my opinion, being that I have lived in Puerto Rico for
Mhm.
47 years, here everyone, Mr. Smith,
Mhm.
everyone cherishes their U.S. citizenship. The majority, the majority of Puerto Ricans that live in Puerto Rico, they desire statehood. So it is my opinion
Mhm.
that if we want to become a state, we must learn English because everything in the 50 states isn't, everything is in English. So that means that if we want to become a state, we must adapt. We must learn the language. In other words, Mr. Smith,
Yes,
if
sir.
I want to become part of your family, I must learn, I must adapt to the customs of your family. That is my reply to what, uh, that is my reply to your comment, Mr. Smith. Go ahead,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith.
So the first thing is, if you want to be part of my family, you need to learn how to speak Armenian. But I don't. I don't even understand Armenian. My parents only spoke it when they didn't want me to know what they were saying. But anyway, they sent me to Armenian school and all that. But um, back to your point, in pretty much every place, and Carol, correct me if I'm wrong, but in pretty much every place in the United States, they have a translation in Spanish for, like, I don't care where you go. They have like an option, a sign, something on a menu. I don't care what it is, but you have English and then Spanish. Is that right, Carol?
Yes, and even when you call up, like I'll call to pay one of my cards or something over the phone,
Hmm.
they'll ask you to press one if you want English, two if you want Spanish.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
So
yes,
yeah. So Edwin, the United States is basically a bilingual country now, and whether it's automated or on a restaurant menu or something like that, it's already bilingual, which is great, which is fine. I just wish they did it in Armenian too, because then I wouldn't know what to order from any restaurant. But yeah, because I can't read it. But the United States is pretty much bilingual when it comes to Spanish. Whether you're Hispanic, Latino, it doesn't matter. It's pretty much bilingual already.
I see. No, I understand. I understand all of that.
Mhm.
But if we want, this is just my opinion with the utmost respect.
Mhm.
If Puerto Rico, if my Puerto Ricans here in Puerto Rico want to become a state, it
Mhm.
is my opinion they must learn English. Because if I go to Congress, Mr. Smith,
Mhm.
if I go to Congress to testify, to speak to a senator, and I tell a senator, please help us become a state.
Ah,
Uh, the language of business in the Congress is English. You understand?
so
Our courts,
you don't want to have to rely on a translator, is what you mean?
right. No, and 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 uh, and this is basic. If let us say that I want to become part of your family, I
Hmm.
must learn your customs, your
Hmm.
traditions, your
Hmm.
language.
Yep,
That way I can fit in. You understand? Look,
I
here
do.
in Puerto Rico, here in Puerto Rico, everything is in Spanish. Uh,
Hmm.
and then we pretend to become a state in the 50 states. Everything is in English, so we
Yeah.
have to change. That is uh, that is my point, Mr. Smith. You see, a lot of people, a lot of people want to become a state, but
Hmm.
to really become a state, we must be just like other states. Uh, that is my point.
I.
Check this out. Check this out, Mr. Smith.
Mhm.
Here in Puerto Rico, we have the Miss Universe contest.
Mhm.
No state, no state competes, no state competes against. You see, here in Puerto Rico, we are competing. We are competing against other Miss Americans. Understand?
Mhm.
So it is my opinion that if we want to become a state, uh, we we uh, we cannot compete against the people that we want to unite with. You understand?
I do understand.
Yeah, like an example. Uh, if I want to be a part of your family, if I want to be a part of your family,
Mhm.
uh, I want to be a part of your family. That means that I cannot compete against your family because I want to be part of your family. It makes no sense. You see, here we have Miss Universe. So we are competing with with our US citizens. Uh, uh, Me personally, I do not agree with that. It is like the USA team against Puerto Rico.
Mhm.
U.S. citizens competing against each other. It makes no sense to me, Mr. Smith.
Well, let me ask you this, sir. How did Puerto Rico become a territory, which sounds oppressive, of the United States? Was it by force or voluntarily?
Okay, let me explain. Uh, Puerto Rico became a territory because the United States uh, uh, they bought it. They bought it from Spain. You see, a lot of people say, people that do not know history, they
Mhm.
say that the United States bombed Puerto Rico. No, they
No,
did not bomb Puerto Rico. They
no.
bombed Spain when Spain was in control of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yes. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You see, you have a lot of these people that are lefties they just wanna plant hate. They say that the United States military that they bomb Puerto Rico, they bomb San Juan, and
Right.
they invaded Puerto Rico. No, they invaded they invaded Spain and Puerto Rico. They did not invade the Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, no, there was never an invasion of of Puerto Rico. Yeah, you're right. There's never
They
a bombing
invaded
or invasion of
Spain,
Puerto Rico.
and
Yeah.
then Spain, they paid Spain for the territory of Puerto Rico. But in 1917, Congress granted us U.S. citizenship. You
Hmm.
see, uh, uh, that is another thing. They say that Puerto Rico is a they say that Puerto Rico is a colony. Puerto Rico is not a colony. Puerto Rico is a territory with U.S. citizenship. No colony, no colony has ever had citizenship from the people that control them.
Right.
Only Puerto Rico has that privilege.
Right. There's other U.S. territories and stuff. Like I don't look. It had happened before I was born, but I don't necessarily agree with everything that's happened. But I think different uh, territories should either they should be their own entities or countries or territories detached from the United States. But I think the United States did it is primarily around World War II and things, trying to gain tactical advantage if warfare should occur. And I think that's how a lot of it happened. Virgin Islands, things like that. I think that's how it happened, but I might be wrong. I might be
No, no,
wrong.
no. You are correct. But the most important point that I want to make is that Puerto Rico is Puerto Rico is not a colony. Puerto Rico is a territory with U.S. citizenship. You see,
Correct.
because colonies are known for non-citizenship. The majority, the majority of colonies in
Hmm.
the entire world, they never gave citizenship to those that were colonized.
Hmm.
So Puerto Rico legally,
Hmm.
Puerto Rico is not a colony. Why? Because we are citizens.
Yes.
And also this, Mr. Smith,
Yep.
the reason that Puerto Rico is not a state, it is because of political corruption. The
Correct.
majority of
Mhm.
the people of Puerto Rico, because
Correct.
I've been living in Puerto Rico for 47 years,
Mhm.
the majority of Puerto Ricans, they want statehood. And let me tell you, the majority of Puerto Ricans, they are conservative Republicans.
Mhm.
They are conservative Republicans because a lot of people say that we are Democrats. That is incorrect. The
Mhm.
majority of Puerto Ricans that live on this island,
Mhm.
that we want statehood and we are conservative Republicans.
Let me ask you this, Edwin, and I'm speaking from my career. What is the most dangerous place in the United States or its territories to be a police officer?
Well, I would say that being a police officer generally is dangerous anywhere, Mr. Smith.
The answer is Puerto Rico because so many cops are. You have a lot of gangs there, a lot of uh, everything else, and there's certain parts of Puerto Rico that are run by. It's kind of like I'm not going to call them the cartel, compare them to Mexico because it's not. It's not Mexico. It's not the Mexican cartel, but a lot of Puerto Rican police officers are killed every year. Um,
That with with the utmost respect, Mr. Smith.
mhm,
Where did you get that? With the utmost respect, Mr. Smith, because
mhm,
you are very dear to my heart. Where
mhm.
did you get that information?
From my professional you can go on it's called Officer Down Memorial Page, odmp.org.
Yeah.
um but
With the utmost respect, Mr. Smith,
mhm,
that is incorrect. That information is not correct.
okay.
Here, here in Puerto Rico, here in Puerto Rico, we
Mhm,
have the state police and we
mhm.
also have the FBI, which
Oh yeah.
watches closely Puerto Rico.
Oh,
And Puerto
absolutely.
Rico is not run. Puerto Rico is not run by gangs or
No, I didn't
cartels.
say no. I didn't say they were run by gangs. I'm talking about police officer deaths and thing like violent
Here,
interactions.
okay, to be clear, here, here, a killing of a police officer is
Mhm,
the lowest.
mhm.
Here is very rare. It's very rare that a police officer is killed. I've been here for 47 years. So, with the utmost respect, Mr. Smith, you
That's
are
fine.
very dear to my heart. To be clear, you are very dear to my heart. But
Mhm.
that information that is on that document, it is incorrect. It is incorrect, Mr. Smith. Here in Puerto Rico, uh, a killing of a police officer, it is very rare. It is
Mhm.
very rare.
I'm not
Go
saying
ahead,
it's.
Mr.
I'm not
Smith.
saying it happens every day, but I'm looking at facts and figures right now. Um, I'm looking at line of duty. This is including because you have different municipal areas. Is that what they call them?
No, here in
Yeah.
Puerto Rico, we have 78 municipalities.
Mhm.
And here in Puerto Rico, there is law and order. No
Mhm.
gangs. No gangs control Puerto Rico.
No, I didn't say gangs. I didn't say anything about gangs. I just talked about a high uh, death rate about. So what is how do you pronounce that? Ponce or Ponce or
Okay,
Ponce?
okay. Ponce.
Okay.
That uh, Ponce. Ponce is one of the 78 municipalities here in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
That is in the south side of the island.
Okay. So that is the
Well,
highest. That is the highest death rate for police officers in Puerto
no,
Rico.
that I am sorry. That, with all respect, Mr. Smith, that document that you have, that
Mhm.
is an anti-Puerto Rican document. With all the, it is not your fault. That information that you have,
Mhm.
it is incorrect. It is, and I cite it with blood, Mr. Smith.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
No, I was just going to say the total line of duty deaths for Puerto Rican police officers is 402, and
No,
I was just going to say that Ponce, by gunfire alone, there were 269. But there's different categories, and that's from the same uh, website that tracks this stuff uh, at
but with,
odmp.org.
with Mr. Smith, with all due respect,
Mhm.
I live in Puerto Rico. That
Mhm.
information is not correct. That
Okay.
is with the utmost respect, and you are dear to my heart. But to
Mhm.
be clear, that is information. That is an information that you have. But I live here. I live here.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying, like, I know Brazil is number one for law enforcement officers duty deaths. Mexico, of course, but I'm just saying because Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. I'm just focusing on that part of it, and there is a high rate of assault and deaths of police officers in
No,
Puerto
but
Rico.
okay. To be clear,
Mhm.
we have a high homicide rate, but not of police officers, just regular crime, just like any city,
Oh
just
yeah,
like
oh,
any
of
city in
course.
the 50 states.
No, I'm not.
Go
I'm
ahead,
not.
Mr. Smith. Go ahead.
No, I'm not saying it's better. I'm not saying there's more cops killed there than the U.S. or because there's the most cops killed are in the U.S. I understand that, but I'm just saying like they have a high rate just of I'm just saying, just of officers being assaulted and killed. That's all. I'm not saying they're
Okay,
worse.
okay.
I'm not
But
saying.
but but Mr. Smith, what I am telling you is that I've been living here 47 years.
Mhm.
Here here the killing of an officer, it is rare. It is
Okay.
very rare. Yes, we have a high homicide rate, but regular crime, just
Mhm.
like any city, New York, Chicago, any city.
Mhm.
But in Puerto Rico, it's just like any state with the same problems and everything. But
I
what I want to tell you, Mr. Smith, and I talk to you with my heart,
mhm.
here, here a killing of a police officer, it
Mhm.
is very rare. It is
Mhm.
very rare.
Okay.
I doubt it.
Okay. I'm
Uh,
just.
Miss Miss Carol, would you like to say something?
I'm staying out of this one.
But to be clear, Mr. Smith,
Mhm.
you are very dear to my heart, and
Mhm.
you are appreciated, Mr. Smith.
As long as Edwin, as long as you understand, I wasn't saying like the most cops are killed in Puerto Rico. I did nothing. That was nothing even close
No,
to
no,
what I was
no. Uh, uh, Mr. Smith, all is
saying.
good. All is good. Okay, Mr. Smith,
Mhm.
getting back to the topic that I wanted to bring up,
Yes.
the anti-Semitism.
Uh-huh.
My message, Mr. Smith, and I want your opinion, and I
Mhm.
want Miss Carroll's opinion. All the content creators must be vigilant. Uh, people in the chats,
Mhm.
people in the chats making comments
Mhm.
about Jewish people. Let me tell you, Mr. Smith and Miss Carroll.
Mhm.
Let me tell you, here on YouTube. First, there is a lack of education.
Mhm.
They are people that I think that never even went to first grade, but they are many racists Mr. Smith and Miss Carol. I have seen many comments about putting down Jewish people. They think that Jewish people, the way they express themselves in the chat, and I tell the content creators, if they permit that, their channels will be struck down. You never know, Mr. Smith and Miss Carol. Once you go on the air, once you go on the air, you never know. You never know who is listening. And let me tell you, a person that is listening, that is observing, if let's say this is just an example, the Jewish Defense League. If the Jewish Defense League is observing, uh, is observing, is observing someone's life, and they see the comments about Jewish people, that that channel can get struck down. That is my point. And also this, Mr. Smith and Miss Carol, in many channels, they downgrade women. They use the C word. They refer to women as dirty whores. You see, my point is this: there are so many organizations that defend women. If one of these organizations they hear that channel can get struck down. That is my point. That is why I am bringing this up, because I want people to avoid. I want people to avoid getting struck. That is my point.
I,
Miss Carol, go ahead, please.
it's your turn in the
Well,
barrel, Carol.
Edwin, as far as I'm concerned, there's racism all over. Okay? It's not only YouTube, you hear it every day on the media, you hear it everywhere. It's up to the individual not to be that way. Okay? As far as content creators go, you can stand here till you're blue in the face and tell them and warn them, they're going to do whatever they want to do. This is why I do not participate with any of them, and I just stay away from it all. I mean, there's anti-Semitism, there's racism against political parties, against colors, against any nationality. And it's all over. It's not only here in the United States, it's worldwide.
Yep.
My,
Edwin, you throw a rock at a hornet's nest.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Edwin, you threw a rock at a hornet's nest, meaning that you disturbed like the beasts of the hornet's nest. Like you have the hornet's nest, and we
Right,
throw a
right.
rock at it, they all come out and they start attacking you, right?
You
Or
see,
whatever's around them.
You see, Mr. Smith and Miss Carol. My point is this, Mr. Smith
Yeah.
and Miss Carol. This is my point and this is my purpose. This is just an example. Let us say that I am in. Let us say, Mr. Smith, that you are live,
Mhm.
and I am in your chat, and I am in your chat, and I text an anti-Jewish comment in the chat.
Mhm.
Your channel can get struck down, Mr. Smith.
Correct.
That's uh, and that is and that is the purpose of this. That is the purpose. That is the purpose of this telecast. I want I want to warn all the content creators
That's,
to be on the lookout, to
yep.
not permit that in their chats. That way, their channels will not get struck down. That
You
is
are
the point of this telecast. Go
you
ahead,
are
Mr. Smith.
you are correct. However, it's up to the host of the live stream and also any moderator to intercept that before YouTube decides to do their artificial intelligence thing that they do to strike the channel or take down the channel, whatever they do. That's why we have moderators, and the host of the channel too obviously should be paying attention to the chat. But moderators. That's why you have moderators in your on your channels to hopefully intercept that type of thing so it doesn't occur. But yes, you're right. Yes, that could happen very well. Absolutely.
Right. Miss Carol, go ahead, please.
No, I understand what Mr. Smith is saying, and I understand what you're saying. What
Okay,
I'm
okay.
saying is if content creators, excuse the way I'm going to put it, want to be that stupid and moronic and allow that in their chats or on their show, they deserve to be struck.
That's a good point.
Okay, okay,
That's a
okay.
good point
And
too. Yeah.
and also, Mr. Smith and Miss Carroll, I want to clarify this because a lot of these people, they you hear them, they say that they struck the channel. The only thing that they can do, the only thing that we can do, is submit a strike complaint. The one that strikes the channel is YouTube. After they review it, if they find that your complaint is correct, and then they strike it. Because Mr. Smith and Miss Carroll, there are many people on YouTube that they say that they struck the channel. No one on YouTube has that power. The only power that we have, that everyone has, just to submit a complaint. The one that strikes the channel is YouTube. Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
I've actually had that problem, and I know I think Carol, I've told you about it. I had that problem with YouTube, and I actually talked to them as a content creator. You have a direct line of communication with them. There's different ways of. I'm not going to get into how you do it, but you have a direct line of communication, and I got struck twice, and I lost my appeal both times because of their beliefs and policies. They're a private for-profit corporation, and they can do what they want with this channel. And
But
if their employees don't believe in what you're talking about, or they think it's offensive, or they just disagree with it, period, then you can get struck, and
okay,
your
uh,
channel can get taken down. That's a fact. And
okay, Mr. Smith.
Mhm.
That way, I can understand you clearly. You are telling me that YouTube directly struck your channel.
Twice, yes,
Okay, but to be clear, you are telling me that YouTube directly struck your channel. It was not a participant that
correct,
submitted a complaint.
correct. YouTube
Okay,
directly.
okay.
I talked to them.
I see, I see,
Yeah. Yeah, and they
I
and they
see.
still even after I showed proof, I explained myself and things, they still and the strikes last, whether it's the first, second, the third strike, you're pretty much done. But the first strike, second strike, and you talk to them directly, and it's their attitude, it's their ideology, it's their beliefs. That's a private for-profit corporation, and that's who works for them are people who disagree with you and I and Carol and whoever else. If they disagree with what you're saying or what you're thinking, what you express on YouTube, they have the absolute right. It's not a violation of the First Amendment or anything else. They have an absolute right to take it down and strike you. And then when you have the ability, which they provide, to appeal it, to contest it, and then they say, no, well, there's nothing you can do about it. Believe me, I've been through it twice.
I see, I see. Okay, uh, another point that I want your opinion, Mr. Smith and Miss Carroll.
Mhm.
It is my opinion these formats mostly are over 20 years old. It is my opinion that these formats should be under the FCC. What is do you, Mr. Smith and Miss Carroll? Would you like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to be under the FCC rules? Go ahead, Miss Carroll.
No,
Why, Miss Carroll? Why?
because I feel like I'm giving the government more control.
Okay, okay,
And they have
okay,
enough control, it seems.
okay. What is your opinion, Mr. Smith?
Well, part of it is under FCC already, but I agree with Carol that they should have absolutely no control of it whatsoever because Federal Communications Commission should have nothing to do with the internet. Um, what they were mainly created for was like uh, telephone and like radio communications and things like that. But they've now it's expanded. We'll see what happens in January, Carol. Right? But
Yes.
yeah, but they tend to intrude upon certain things. So I have an FCC license for radio use, and it's Edwin. I'm not going to curse on your channel, but it's BS for me to have to get that license to actually talk on a radio. But it's all about in the United States control, government control over what we do. You know what I mean? And they want money for it, and that's what it comes down to is the dollar.
I see, I see. Okay, that is a good point. That is a good point by Miss Carol and Mr. Smith.
Mhm.
Okay, Mr. Smith and Miss Carol.
Mhm.
Briefly, I would like now to get into the problem of alcoholism, and I'm going to tell you why. Every year, every year, especially in Christmas time, there are hundreds and hundreds of accidents. People kill each other on the road because of alcohol abuse. If I am not mistaken, last week in New Jersey, because I saw the news on NBC, six young kids. They were going to some relatives' home. They all lost their lives on the road due to a drunk driver. Miss Carol, what is your opinion on the alcohol? What is your opinion? In other words, Miss Carol, if you had the power, if you had the power, Miss Carol, what would you do against the people that drive drunk?
Edwin, I'm sorry. I'm not going to answer that because that's a sore subject with me because I lost my brother that way. So I
I
can't
see.
discuss it.
Okay, okay. Uh, Miss Carol, you lost your dear brother.
Yes.
Okay. May God bless his memory and our utmost respect, Miss Carol.
Thank you.
Mr. Smith, if
Mhm.
you had the power, what would you do against these people that drive drunk?
I had the power. I had the power to do it, and it doesn't matter what you do to try and enforce it. It doesn't stop them. It's
That's
just like
right.
people that just right, Carol.
Yep. The
Yeah,
guy that
no,
killed my brother, 21 times he was arrested for drunk driving.
right. No matter what.
20, Miss Carol, 21 times?
21 times. And the state of
Wow.
Florida only gave him 12 years. He killed my brother, another woman, and injured 8 other people.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Check Mr. Smith and Miss Carol and chat family. Check this out. This happened around 2 years ago here in Puerto Rico. This young man is drunk, kills a young girl, instead of stopping, and giving help to the young girl. The individual, Mr. Smith and Miss Carroll, the individual uh, the individual runs away, and then the next day goes to the police precinct and claims that he almost got carjacked. The police investigate that it is a lie.
Mhm.
Check this out. Uh, I am sorry. The individual flees the scene, tells a lie, the young girl died because he was drunk. He got 2 years and only
Mhm.
1 year. He only has to do 1 year and 1 year probation. What do you think about that, Mr. Smith and Miss Carol?
Carol already knows that happens virtually every day here in the States. That's
Yes,
not that's not
unfortunately.
that's not surprising. That happens virtually almost every day in the United States.
Let me tell.
That's how corrupt the that's how, well, I don't want to say corrupt, but that's how weak the system is, the justice system.
And also check this out. And I have observed it. Uh, and I would like to know, Miss Carol and Mr. Smith. I
Mhm.
have observed also content creators go on live, and they are under the influence of alcohol and the influence of drugs. That
Oh,
uh,
I,
that should not be permitted on YouTube. What is your opinion on that, Mr. Smith?
I've seen. Look, I drink beer on lives, and that's, I'm at home. I'm not driving. I'm at home. I'm relaxing, have a good time with you good people. But I've seen people on lives that have been under the influence of illegal narcotics that have literally passed out while they're alive, and
Right,
that
right.
and that to me is just, to me, from my professional perspective, to me that's interesting. But from a human perspective, I think that's just totally ridiculous. Like they're like, you, anybody can have access to the internet, but what they do on it is up to them. But I think we could actually watch somebody die live online at any given moment, and it's happened, Edwin. It's happened because these
Yeah.
people use and abuse drugs and things like that. But I'm not going to lie. I mean, you already know. I'll come on here and I'll drink a beer. I quit smoking 2 years ago, but I'll come on and drink a beer. Look here. Am I doing anything wrong? You know what I mean? But
I
if
see, I see.
you know what I'm saying, there's a difference. The people that use and abuse, right?
Right, right.
There's a,
I agree. I
you know,
agree with you, Mr. Smith. Miss Carol, your opinion on content creators that are under the influence, but heavy influence of drugs and alcohol.
They shouldn't be allowed on the air, period. I've
mhm,
heard
Right,
quite a
mhm,
few content creators, especially, and I don't mention names. I've seen clips where they slur their words,
mhm,
right.
they get out of hand, they
mhm.
can't control their attitude, their emotions, nothing.
Yep,
And it's
Yeah.
totally disgusting.
yep. I know who you're talking about too. A couple of them, anyway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know.
Well, I am bringing these topics up to create at least some consciousness in everyone.
Mhm.
Anyway, Mr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, what are your plans? What are your plans for? What are your plans for Christmas Eve?
So I'm going to drive 100 miles, pick up my mom, bring her back up here to the mountains. We're going to have a great Christmas. And then we're going to, after Christmas, the day after the 26th, we're going to go home. We're going to have a separate dinner with more family that lives in that East Coast part of the United States. And yeah, we're just going to enjoy each other's company and enjoy life.
Ah, Mr. Smith, uh,
Mhm.
where I am sorry,
Mhm.
where you live,
Mhm.
has it snowed yet?
Yes. Oh, big time. Yeah. Yeah. We had 3 inches of snow on the ground the week before Thanksgiving.
I see, I see. So, but will you be expecting more snow,
Yes.
like for Christmas Eve or
Yeah.
Christmas
Well,
Day?
between now and then, yes, but not sure when. But yes.
I see, I see. Miss Carol, what are your plans for Christmas Eve and for Christmas Day?
Christmas Eve, I am going to my niece's house to spend time with my sister and her family. And then Christmas Day, I'll be with my family.
Okay. So to be clear, Miss Carol, so you enjoyed this week celebrating your wedding anniversary, Miss Carol?
Yes, I did. Unfortunately, I got sick, so
Oh, I see. Miss Carol, please give my respect to Mr. Mahale and special blessing for little Carol.
thank you, Edwin. Same to you and your family.
Okay. Mr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
Senator Smith, give your closing statement to Congress.
Senator Smith. That's great. Like maybe someday we'll see. But I just want to thank you for having myself and Carol on and everyone in chat for joining. But you bring up some important topics, and I hope you keep doing that. I know you will. But we'll keep talking. We'll have a good discussion, and everyone will be more intelligent and educated in the end. And but anyway, thank you for having me on, fine sir. And Carol, always good to talk to you as well, as you know.
Same here,
Mr. Smith,
556.
Mr. Smith,
Yes, sir.
before you leave,
Mhm.
do not forget, clean the barn. I will be staying at the barn. I will be arriving Christmas Eve. So
No,
Yes,
have
that's
the,
sir.
what he has truck for.
Yes.
uh,
That's what he has Chris truck for, to clean the barn.
You know
mi-
what?
uh,
That's a good
Mr.
idea, Carol.
Mr. Mr. Smith, do
Yes,
not
sir.
forget to do not forget to have fresh hay. I need fresh hay.
Roger that, sir.
Okay, so Mr. Smith, a big hug. Mrs. Carroll, give your closing statement to Congress.
My closing statement to Congress is get your heads on straight and straighten out this country. That's my closing message to Congress.
Miss Carroll, today is Sunday. What are your plans for today, Miss Carroll?
Believe it or not, I'm going to church, and then from there, I have some Christmas shopping to do.
Okay, okay. So, Miss Carroll, as always, God bless you. I give you a big hug and I give you a kiss on the forehead like I do my granddaughter with the utmost respect, Miss Carroll.
Same to you, Edwin, and thank you for having me on. God bless you.
Okay. God bless you, Miss Carroll, and a big hug.
Same to you, Edwin.
Okay. Okay. Everyone in the chat family, may God bless you all. Let me check the chat for a second. Muggsy Siegel, Muggsy, God bless you. Mr. Smith, God bless you. Teresa Murphy, God bless you. Deborah Roberts, God bless you. I am checking the chat. I am checking the chat. I don't want to miss no one. Cheech, God bless you and thank you for being in the chat family. Deborah Roberts, God bless you. I don't want to miss no one. I think I got everyone. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I think I got everyone. God bless everyone in the chat family. And hold on. And God bless everyone that is outside of the chat. God bless everyone that is outside of the chat. And God bless everyone on YouTube. God bless everyone on YouTube. And everyone, please accept my sincere apologies. My voice is horrible. I have a cold. I have a cold, and my English is Spanish. The only time I speak in English is when I'm on YouTube. Here in Puerto Rico, it is Spanish 24/7. My thought process is in Spanish, and then when I speak English, it is a little difficult, but I go forward all the time. So again, I want to thank Miss Carol Mahale. I want to thank Mr. Smith for helping me on the panel. And I want to be clear. I bring up these topics. It is to create consciousness. It is to create consciousness. That is the purpose. That is the purpose. It is important to be clear. There is nothing wrong with having a few laughs, but but I tell all the content creators, honor thy channel, honor your channel, honor your channel, honor your channel. It is a privilege to go on the air and to express yourself. Do not abuse the privilege. Do not convert your channels. Do not convert your channels into. Do not convert your channels into. Let me find the word. Do not convert your channel into a goof off channel. There are many goof off channels. Take your channel serious. Honor your channel. Honor your channel. Honor your channel. Respect your channel. Follow the rules. That way you won't get struck. That way you won't get struck. You see, a lot of people, they violate the rules and then they complain that someone struck them. But it's your fault. If you use excessive profanity, if you curse people's mothers, you're going to get struck. You are going to get struck. If you get struck, don't complain. And then you have people that say that they are not into gossip, but they look for gossip. They look for gossip. Respect your channel. Respect your channel. Honor your channel. Honor your channel. Respect people. That way people will respect you. Respect people. That way people will respect you. Let me repeat it again. If you want people to respect you, respect yourself. Respect yourself. If you respect yourself, people will respect you. If you mention people by names, if you mention people's names negatively, you're going to get struck down. You're going to get struck down. That is the way it is. That is how come I never mention no one's name. I talk in general. I talk in general. But I say this, if you respond and if you mention my name, you are guilty. You are guilty to what I am saying. An example. This is an example. If I talk in general and you feel offended, and you mention my name, by you mentioning me, you are telling me that what I am saying about you, it is correct. It is correct. You see? That is the way it is. If you mention someone by name in your telecast, that means that what that person is saying, it is what that person is saying about you, it is true. And you're going to get your channel struck. It is just a matter of time. People that mention other people by name, their channels will be struck down. That is the way it is. The purpose of this channel, what is the purpose of this channel? It is to do good. It is to do good, but you must follow the rules. you must follow the rules. That is the way it is. This is not a goof off channel. This is a serious channel. In order to be in this chat, you must be a serious person and a person of honor. Uh, and I want to be clear, this channel, no criminal delinquents, no street thugs. Here, no profanity. Also here, if you are blocked, you are blocked forever. There is no coming back. There is no coming back. I wish you well and God bless you. I will never mention your name. I will never mention your name. Never. But you are blocked forever. Here, I do not negotiate. This channel will not deviate. Never. I do not bend. Never. I am 69 years old. I am 69 years old. I have lived my life straight as an arrow. No one can point the finger at me for nothing. My record is clean. My reputation is impeccable. No one, no one can point their finger at me. Since I've been on YouTube, I've only I, I've only tried to help people. Since I've been on YouTube, I've only tried to help people. And I want to clarify something. Once I see, once God reveals to me, listen to me carefully, because I want to be clear. Once God reveals to me the real you, you are gone. You are gone. Once God reveals to me that you are a criminal delinquent, that you are a street thug, that you have no honor, you have no respect, you are blocked. You are blocked. That is the way it is, and that is the way this channel will be to the death. Here, you must respect and you must follow the rules. That is the way this channel is. This channel is going to be clean like a baby. No troublemakers. Anyone making a anyone making a negative comment in the chat, you're blocked. Anti-Semitism, racist comments, talking about other people, not here. This channel will be clean. And let me repeat it again. Once God reveals to me who you really are, you are gone. A lot of people make believe that they're good and they are evil. They are evil. Here, no criminal delinquents, no street thugs, no profanity. Men that abuse women, you cannot be here. You cannot be here. That is the way this channel is, and that is the way this channel will be to the death. Okay, everyone, I hope I am clear. I hope I am clear. So God bless everyone. Today is Sunday. It is now 12:50. It is now 12:50 in Puerto Rico and 11:50 on the East Coast. Today is Sunday. Today is Sunday. Everyone, go to the church of your preference and give your respect to God. Give your respect to God. As always, God bless my nephew, Emery. God bless my nephew, Emery. Mob Raps Exposed. May God bless my nephew always. And may God bless Miss Angel Gotti. May God bless Miss Angel Gotti always and her entire family. And her entire family. And let me repeat it again. This channel is pro Emery. This channel is pro Miss Angel Gotti. That is the way this channel is. And let me repeat this again. This is for everyone. If you do not want your channel to, if you do not want your channel to be struck, do the right thing. Follow the rules. Respect. If you do not respect others, your channel is going to get struck down. That is the way it is. Live and let live others. There are many that want to control. There are many that want to control people on YouTube. Learn to control yourself. Learn to control yourself. I hope I am clear. I hope I am clear. Okay, everyone. God bless you all. Again, I want to thank Miss Carol Mahale and Mr. Smith. And Mr. Smith, and let me repeat it again, because there are many hardheads on YouTube. All the topics that I bring up, it is in good faith. It is in good faith. It is to create consciousness and to open your brains. It is to open your brains. It is with a good intention. It is with a good intention. Honor your channels. Honor your channels. Respect your channels. And you will not have a problem. And because if you violate the rules, your channel is going to get struck down. And then don't complain. You are guilty. You are guilty. And that's another thing. There are many on YouTube. Everything is everyone's fault. Nothing is their fault. They are perfect all the time. That is a horrible attitude. With that kind of attitude, you go nowhere in life. You go nowhere in life. Okay, everyone. Happy Sunday, and God bless you all.